Hello, and welcome back to Kim McDonald Studios. We're going to do a fun one this week. We're going to do resin Petri coasters. Yes, we are. Threw these together last night. I am in love with them. Okay, so I put cork on one. One I didn't, so this is kind of what the back of both of them look like. That's the front. Let's see if I can get it up there without, yeah, try and pat your head and rub your belly at the same time, Kim. So, yeah. These were really fun. I did these with the pinata inks, and funny little story, I've got a class coming up just in a few days where I'm going to be teaching some folks how to make these, and I thought, you know, I don't want to use my old grubby alcohol inks that I've had in the studio that I've got 2 or 3 different kinds, different brands. I want to have something nice. Plus, I do, you know, I concur with a lot of people out there that say that the pinata, the white pinata, this is the key. This is the key. Had to repeat that because, okay, this is just really what makes it all happen. I've used other white alcohol ink mixtures that don't do the kind of job that this does as far as pushing that color down through without taking away any of the vibrancy of the colors. So that's the key. All right. So these ones I did last night, before I go any further though, these backs, check this out. Where are they at? I found these. Thank goodness somebody got smart and finally figured out that there's a market out here for it. But I found these. They're already cut. They've got the stickum on them already. So yeah, they're adhesive cork rounds. I don't know why I'm taking, I should have had this out and ready, huh? Okay. So it's a thin cork, but honestly, it's the perfect amount for one of these. It's perfect. I will say one thing though, for these molds, which a lot of us use these molds for this particular purpose, and these are slightly, and I mean slightly too big, and that bugs me. So I'll show you at the end kind of how I deal with that, but you can, I don't know if you can see, it just slightly too big. Nothing that some scissors can't take care of. So I'm going to go mix my resin. And again, I told you we're using pinata colors. I'll put a picture up of the colors I'm using. But the funny story was, for the class I have coming up, I didn't want to use my old alcohol inks. So I just went online, got some pinata colors right there. And about 2 days later, I realized, you know what? I'm going to have enough people at the class. I should get another set. So I went back on Amazon. I did not go through my orders and reorder the one I had already ordered. Of course I didn't. That'd be too easy. I actually just got on Amazon and did a search and bought this one. And they ended up coming on the same day. And it wasn't until I went to unpack them that I realized they're 2 totally different runs of colors. So I'm probably going to have to go buy another one of each one just so that everyone has the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of using a mixture. Now the ones I did yesterday, I think I got all of those out of one pack because that was the magenta, the orange, the sunbright yellow, and the Baja blue. So today I picked out a couple of different colors. I kept the magenta in there just because because it's gorgeous. And let me go mix my resin and we'll get started. Now before we get started with the resin part of it, I just want to go over that every time I do something with my molds, as soon as I'm done, which means not like, you know, as soon as I pour, but the next day or the 48 hours later that I pull anything out of this and I demold, I do set this aside for a quick second, but I go back almost immediately and wash it up really well with isopropyl alcohol. That'll pull off any other little pieces of resin or little pieces that might be sitting up here to get it completely clean before I put it into plastic bags and put it away, because I want to keep, you know, junk off of it, including dust and things like that. So I've done that. It's all clean. It's good to go. But normally, and I do really advise using mold release. Mold release really is a spray silicone in many cases. I happen to be out of my mold release. It's on its way, hopefully in time for the class. So we're going to have to do it the down and dirty old-fashioned way, which means I'm going to do this by hand. Got my silicone here. And this is a thick silicone too, so I'm not worried about it running all over. Okay. Just going to get a little bit on here. What I really want to get is the outside rims here, because you do not want to go through that. If you haven't gone through coasters sticking in a mold, you just haven't had any fun. I wouldn't advise it. You don't want to do it. So what I do is I kind of fold this around and get a new piece every time, just in case I'm wiping off gunk while I'm putting this on. It's kind of a double measure. The only thing you want to do is make sure that you don't leave a lot in the bottom. You don't want to leave it to where it looks like you've painted it in there, or else that's kind of the look you're going to get on the top of your coasters. And you don't want that. You want it to be slick and pretty. So what you're really going to do is just wipe these back out. You're not going to ever get all of the silicone out. And that's the point. So there's just enough left in there, hopefully, to pop our resin coasters out really well. All right. Okay, we're just about ready to pour the resin in, but before we get to that point, I just want to make sure, if you're going to do this, you just want a little, you need something to pop the bubbles. And this little $9, it's like a little $10 torch that I have that's perfect for this. Now, on my bigger stuff, I have this double barrel. This is my big baby. I use this for almost everything, but never coasters. And the reason why is that guy's just way too big for this job. When you're torching your bubbles, you want to do a quick in and out. You don't want to get anywhere near these edges, because you will fuse your silicone mold to your resin. And when it really sticks and you can't get it out and you end up pulling the resin apart, that's what happened. Well, there's two things that'll make that happen, and we'll get to the second thing in a little bit. So all you need is a little tiny creme brulee torch, kitchen torch. These are like 10 bucks. While we're on the subject though, this is a huge, huge pet peeve of mine. These big resin guns like this, and you see them used a lot on large pieces, that's what they're for. What heat guns like this are for when it comes to resin is to warm and move resin. So if you're doing it on a large surface and you need to push that resin, this warms the resin and helps move it. This is not meant for this. I don't know how else I can say it, or I have to say this because when I see it, it makes me crazy. I see people going over these cups with this heat, and they're sloshing the resin all over and up on the sides, and that's not what these are meant for, babies. This is to warm the resin and move it. This is to pop bubbles. Okay, here's another tip, and this one is not from me. This one's from, I don't even know the source because I saw it from several people on YouTube in recent months. Actually, it was probably even longer than that ago. And that is, don't pour all your resin in at once. Just a small layer, and I'll show you why. By the way, I measured out enough to do about 2 ounces per cup is perfect. I'll show you in a minute on my ones I did last night. So you just put a little bit in the bottom. Maybe not enough. You want enough to cover the bottom. Barely. There we go. Alright, what I'm doing right now is getting it. There's bubbles in this bottom layer. We're going to kill those bubbles and then put more resin in. If you've been watching any other videos on YouTube doing Petri coasters, then you've probably seen that. And it's a really good tip, because once you've poured all your resin in and you can't get those bubbles from the corners all the way up, they're locked in there for good. And those will be, see how quick I was there? You don't want to go anywhere near the edge of your cup. And a lot of these will continue to float to the top as we're messing here, as we're putting the resin layer in. Okay. I think I got most of them, but what you want to do is take one of these skewers like this, not the pointy point, but the blunt point, or the blunt end here. If you see any that are down near the edges here, that'll take care of them. I don't care if they're in the middle because I'm going to get that in a minute. I think I use the skewers more than anything because they just work for everything. There's a big bubble. Gotcha. Okay, I'm good there. I feel happy with that. Okay, and finish up on our, fill in our cups. Every time. Every time. Okay, that's where I just kind of get down here and eyeball it to kind of see how even they are. They all look pretty good, except for this one. We'll put the end of the bunch in this one. Okay. See some little baby bubbles, but not much. So, again, I'm going to come in towards the center and just really quickly. Okay, I think we're looking pretty good. Now, if you get them on the top here, on the edges, no big deal because that's going to be your bottom when it's done. So we just want to make sure there's none down in the bottom of the crevice of the mold. You can pick as many colors as you want. I tend to not work with metallics in this because they will do one of two things. They'll either float on the back so you never see them when you turn them over, or they'll chunk down into, I don't like them. So I stick with colors and with my white. And the simple process is color white, color white, color white. That's all you have to remember. So here's a picture of the colors we're using. Okay, so I'm going to start with the magenta because that is brilliant. And whether they need shaking or not, I shake everything. But specifically, you want to shake your white because it's got a little BB in there to make sure it's completely done. And you know what, now that I've said that, let's make sure I do that before I put my color in. Okay, my white is ready to go. And I'm making a set here, so I kind of I want mine to be somewhat uniform, so I'm just going to do a side here. So I'm going to do 5 there. Okay, it's already getting fun. Now here's the key. When you use this, if you use more than a drop, you're going to end up getting white blobs on the front here. Now this camera's not picking it up, but these are kind of colored and they look fine in person. But if you use too much white, it'll make big blobs and you won't be able to see through them. So the key is to do 1 dot per dot. And don't take them too high off the table because if you come up here, it'll drop further into the resin, and again, you don't want stuff to meet the front. Alrighty. Now I'm going to go with the, where's it at? I think I'm going to do the teal next. Now if you get more than one, say I go here and do 2 by accident, that's fine. The ones that you really don't want to do double or triple drops of are the white. Look at it spreading like that. Alright, it's so much fun to watch it too. This time I'm trying the gold and yellow, but I think I want to put that on the back of the magenta, so maybe not. Let's do it. Let's just go for it, man. Oh, look, it's starting to bubble. Toil and trouble. Did I get everybody? Yes, I did. I'm going to put some purple in. This, which one is this? The blue violet in by the, I want to see what it does next to the yellow. You just kind of want to put it in where it's blank. It's all going to mesh into the middle anyway, but, and another tip, don't put it on the edge. Don't put it to where it runs down the edge of your mold, because that's reason number 2, that it would stick to your mold. So it can touch, but it has to go into the resin first. Alright, now we're going to go back over our colors. A lot of people like to do 3 layers. I like to do 2. I don't like to go over it too much. So I'm going to go into some spaces I haven't gone into yet. 2, 4, 5. Teal. Now that you start getting more ink in here, you'll start seeing it move more. Oops, there's that one. Okay, and one more of the purple. Not a lot of room for the purple in some of these. Actually, I need to get some on this. There. And a A lot of magenta over there by itself with no white on it. Okay, it's looking really pansy-ish. I love that. It's doing some serious mixing right there. Sorry about my hand in the way. Okay, and that's about it. Another thing you can do, it's up to you. Matter of fact, on these ones from last night, I did do this. So let me see, where's it at? It's a really special, expensive tool. Boom! I'll just blow it on those two and see if it does anything different than those two. So when we come back, I'd like to let these sit for 2 days, but I don't have the time to do that. So when we come back, it'll be late tomorrow. So it'll be, we'll probably be at the 14-hour mark, which is a little bit soon to unmold these, but we'll see how it works out. But I wanted to do these so that we've got some clear, you know, as well. Like on this one, you can see some clear through there. And some of these, I don't know if you can see it from your vantage point, but some of these, I can already see a lot of clear around the edges, clear and colored. Matter of fact, I'll come get you and show you. Okay. So this is where we're at right now. And you can see in some of these areas, see there's colored in there, and it looks kind of clear as well. That purple's really dark. That'll be cool to look at on the other side when it's time to flip. So you can see some clear there. All right. Meet you back here tomorrow, and we will demold. Alrighty then. It has been about 17 hours since I poured these. I normally, as I said, like to let them set for 2 days, but because I'm under a time schedule here, we're going to do it now. The reason why is because the resin that I use is, which one am I using on this one? The Pro Marine countertop epoxy is what I'm using on these. And they're not meant to be poured this deeply. And that's why you give them an extra day to mold, because these are a couple days old and they're pretty hard, but I can still feel a little bit of give on them. So let these sit for 2 days before you demold them. It's okay to do it the next day, but you're going to have to let them sit like this flat for another couple of days to make sure they're really hard. Okay, yay, time to demold. Let's do it. Okay, remember I used the straw to blow these two around and I didn't on those, so we'll see if there's a difference. Let's do these first. First thing I do is go all the way around the edge to make sure we don't have any sticking points. I think we're okay. Oh, there's a little stick on that one. We'll see if we ruin a mold today or not. Oh, that's not looking good. Just be gentle with it. Yeah, it's not looking good from this side. I think I'm about to tear my mold, but here we go. Yeah, you can see it right there. Not good. Yep, there goes that mold. The good thing about it is that I can sand this off after I get this piece off, so I can save this piece, but this mold is junk. That turned out really good. Oof, look at that. Like I said, this piece will come off. I'll get it off. And I like the, I do like the negative space I got here, the clear areas. Okay, let's see if we have any more casualties. Good thing about these is you can cut them out. Come on, everybody else. You need to be with me here. Let's do this. Okay. There's a good one. Okay, there's the outside, or the back side. Good edge. Oh, another good one. There's a lot of depth in that. Oh, I dig it. Okay, so there's two. Those are those two, and they're looking pretty identical. So we'll see if the other two are different. Ooh, pretty. Oops, there we go. Good edge on it. Okay, one more. Okay, this one's feeling pretty good, like it's gonna pop right out. Please do. Yeah, baby. Okay, we saved 3 on that one. Oh, these turned out really good. Okay, so those are the 2 that I blew around with a straw. Let's see how different they are from the others. Let's do it this way. Okay, looking pretty closely at them on my end. They do look pretty much the same, even though there is a little more movement in these, so I like the straw idea. I did get some white popping through, but most of these little dots down here are actually colored, so they look pretty good on top. Yeah, these turned out good. What I'm kind of really bummed about today is that we're completely fogged in. I can't take these out in the sun and show you really how pretty they are and the 3D depth to them. It's hard to really see that on camera, but these did not disappoint. I'm excited. All right, so as I said, I will clean this guy up. He'll probably end up needing to be sanded and get another little clear coat on him. I just need to heat this up, and it usually helps it come off. So there's for that one. So on one of these, I'm going to show you, it's not rocket science, but I'm going to show you how I put these on, because the adhesive on these is big time strong. So it's not like you can like get it in one area and if it doesn't fit right, you can pull it right back off. I had to do that on one and I almost broke the whole thing because the adhesive is really strong on these, which is great. But it just means you kind of have one chance to get it on your coaster. And I even, before I learned the lesson, I put my thumb there and went to pull this off and I couldn't get my thumb off. So be careful with that. Okay, so what I do with these, actually I'm going to do it the way I do it. This is our bottom. Get this in a little closer. There we go. Okay, so what I do, and like I said, it's not rocket science, it's pretty easy. I wouldn't suggest trying to cut these before you put them on because you'll end up wasting these because they just won't fit right. For me, it works easier. Find your edge right here and kind of let it stick down. Nope, 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 nope. See, that is strong stuff. I was a little too far in. Okay, now I feel it. That's a perfect match. So I just want to make sure I feel with my fingers as I lay this down that it's covering, there it is, the whole thing. Now, on this side where we matched it, it's perfect, but you can see that the rest is hanging over. All of this here. That's not hard. This is where we get out just a really good pair of scissors. And this is why I wanted to show you this, because there's a little tip I want to give you. It's going to feel right to put this against the side of the coaster and cut down so that it's all even. But if you do that, you risk scarring this resin right here. And I did it the other day with, let's see if you can even see it. Yep, found it. There we go. Now I don't know if you can see that right there, but I scratched the resin when I was cutting this. So what I suggest is instead of lining your scissors up directly next to the coaster, put it at a little bit of an angle. Let's see if I can get you like that. just a little bit of an angle down as you cut around. Just stay in there tight. Boom. I'm sorry if I went off camera with that, but now it's perfect. Now it's and this is not coming off. So even for your see-through parts, it still looks great. And the light comes in from the side, so you'll still see all that 3D effect. So putting these on the bottom really doesn't hurt anything. You'll see the difference here. See through with my fingers there, and you really can't hear, but like I said, it doesn't mess with the 3D effect of it. Again, I wish I could take you outside to look at these, but dang it. We had sunshine yesterday, and we're all fogged in today, so, you know, go figure. We went straight from summer to winter here in the Pacific Northwest. So, other than this little boo-boo, I think we did good. Got a nice little set there. I don't know who I'm going to give it to, but somebody will like the purple and the pink. Oh, I think I know somebody who would want these. Okay, so that's it for this week. It was a pretty simple lesson, but this particular project is so much fun because it's easy. You just pour them, let them sit for 2 days, unmold them, and of course you might have some little pitfalls like this, but that just goes with the territory. Again, I've got plenty of these molds, and I'll just cut this bad one out, and I still have 3. And if I didn't tell you this, and I know I didn't tell you this, this is not a 4 mold. This is a 6 mold. Because weirdly, you can't get them in 4s. So all I did was just cut that off so I could do a set of 4. And that's really, I did that so that I could have it for my class. But now, I'm going to have to do a new one. But I can do that. So thanks for sticking around this far. And if you liked what you saw today, just go ahead and give me a thumbs up, because I love it when I see those thumbs up. And also, if you'd like to see more projects like this or projects with resin, I'm going to be doing a lot of that. So if you haven't subscribed, I'd love it if you'd subscribe and hit that little bell. Or it's actually down there. Subscribe and hit that little bell down there. And you'll get notifications whenever a new video comes out. Have a great day, and go do just a little something creative today.